Hell yeah, YouTube! KNDoperative here, and you guys are just awesome. I have to start out this video by thanking you guys as subscribers and as viewers. You guys are so cool. I started this channel thinking that no one was going to watch my videos. I was just making these Nerf videos for fun, because I enjoyed it. I thought it looked fun, and it turned out that it was. And it turned out, also, that I have now loads of viewers that enjoy watching my videos just as much as I enjoy making them. So it's awesome, and I'm so astounded at the amount of comments and likes and views that I've been getting, especially on that last video. I thought it would take a week to get 50 hell yes comments and 100 likes, and it turned out it took one night, a couple hours. So it's just incredible. And after I got 100 likes and 50 comments, I kept getting likes and comments, and it made me feel really good. So thank you guys so much for being the awesome subscribers that you guys are, and so that way you guys don't have to wait any longer. Without further ado, here's what you guys have been waiting for: my awesome new homemade. It's so cool. I love this thing. It's awesome. The mechanism is so cool. So here it is. It's finished. Excuse me. I have kind of a raspy throat today. But yeah, it's so cool. First things first, I have to say, I decided not to... There used to be a bunch of stuff in the front here. I decided not to put a magazine in the front here. The reason is because I've decided, after a recommendation for the name for this gun, I've decided to name it the Snap Carbine, because the mechanism, the mechanism means you don't need a stock here, and after you prime it, it keeps the same size. So technically, if I didn't have the stock, the gun would be this small. So that's why I called it the Snap Carbine. For those of you that don't know, the word carbine means the smaller version. You have the M16, then you have the M4 Carbine. It's the smaller version of the M16. Now the reason I named my Epic Longshot the Carbine was just because it looked like the M1 Carbine, which is a smaller version of the M1 Garand. Not because it was legitimately smaller, but this is. That's why I'm naming this the Carbine. It's just kind of ironic that my past two of my best mods have both been named the Carbine. It's just kind of weird. But yeah, the only reason I give guns names is not because it's fun or cool or anything. Notice I don't call my gun the Devastator. You know, it's just that way I can refer to the gun later. And so that way I don't have to say, oh, you know that Snap homemade that I made that used that bolt. I can just say the Snap Carbine, and you guys will know what I'm talking about. It's a lot easier. So anyway, yeah, so I just have a speed loader on here. It's the same speed loader I've been using for a lot of my guns, 12-inch long barrels. And I've also put some polycarb over the trigger, which stops the trigger from opening up too much when you pull it. It's just kind of a trigger block. Plus it looks really cool. Once it's painted over, it'll look really awesome. And yeah, I also finished attaching the bolt, so it fully primes back now. It's surprisingly really easy to prime back. Just like that. I can literally prime it back with one finger here and my thumb behind the grip, and I just do a squeezing motion and it primes it back. So it's pretty cool. It's just that with this design and the placement of the grip, I'm actually using my right hand to prime it, not my left. I could prime it back with my left, but that's a little bit more awkward and more difficult. So with the positioning of that, I can get more torque on the trigger and actually pull it back quite easily. So yeah, it's a pretty comfortable gun. I really like it. I'm probably going to wind up changing the stock again. If you've noticed, the past, between this video and the last video, I removed the thing on the bottom of the stock. It kind of felt like it got in the way too much, but now the stock feels too tiny. So I think I'm going to increase something on the bottom here. I don't know yet, though. But, yeah. So, that's it. The air seal on the O-ring on the piston is fantastic. If I plug up the front real tight and pull the trigger, it stops, pretty much. If I can hold the air from coming out here, because there's a lot of pressure on my hand. But yeah, it slows down the plunger head, or the piston rather, dramatically. Farting noise. So, that's the gun. I don't have any darts to fire it on camera for you guys, sadly, because of my last video. I only had 2 Steffens left from all the Steffens that I've made in the past couple months. And I fired them both in my last video and then lost them both. They probably got buried in the snow somewhere. And they're gray and the snow's white. It's pretty difficult to find them. But, yeah, so I won't be able to fire it on camera for you guys, and I don't have any materials to make more darts. I haven't had any materials for a while in terms of dart making. I just recently got hot glue again, so I'm going to need to go out and get more foam and get some different weights. I'm going to start making my darts longer again and adding heavier weights in them. I'm going to use 3/0 fishing weights instead of washers because they're a little bit heavier and they'll make my darts way more accurate. So, in any case, that's pretty much the finished gun. I just want to point out a couple things that make this better, in my opinion, than the average snap. One would be, it's not an inverse plunger system or a direct plunger system. It's a new breed of plunger, I guess. It's more of a piston. So, the plunger rod, which I call the piston because it's a different size, kind of different shape, that's completely in front of the springs. A lot of people thought it was like an inverse. It's not an inverse. The way an inverse works is the springs, there's something still under the spring. If you think about a recon, I don't have a recon or a radar in my room right now, but the air chamber that you prime back that winds up coming out the back of the gun, that is under the spring. The spring is compressing over top of that. So the whole thing about that is you need a spring that fits over that, but it can't be a spring that's too big because then it won't fit in the shell. So you're limited with what springs you can add to it, or what springs you can replace with it. Same thing goes with the direct plunger system. You need a spring that's wide enough to fit over the plunger rod. In this case, there's nothing under the springs, so I can add whatever size springs I want in here. It doesn't matter. So it's much more versatile of a system. So that makes it a lot better in my opinion. Because for me, I'm not someone who just goes out and buys a surplus of 10 or 20 K26 springs. I like to use springs that I have with me just from Nerf guns. I have a long shot spring in here and a big bad bow spring in here. Full compression, by the way. In a long shot, because of the way it works, it does not compress the springs all the way. It almost does, but not all the way. So I'm getting a little bit more power here than I would in an average long shot mod. Otherwise, there are a couple more really cool features about this. But ultimately, it's more compact, more versatile with the springs. The catches really, really well. If I'm aiming at someone and I've got a loaded barrel, but my gun is deprimed, I don't have to stop aiming at them to prime the gun back. All I do is that, and I'm ready to shoot at them. So that's really cool. The draw is really easy, really simple, really smooth, too. It's very rewarding to hear that nice little click noise. So, anyway, that's my snap carbine, guys. There we go. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Again, thank you guys for being awesome subscribers. Sorry I couldn't fire this on video. Once I start really making more darts, I'll be able to fire it again and show you guys how awesome it is. So, I don't know ranges yet, which is another thing. But anyways, that concludes this video. So thank you guys for watching. As always, KNDoperative out.